GFAF, International Sporting Code. Published on March 8, 2026, Issue 4. Preamble. The Global Fantasy Soccer Federation, GFAF, founded to provide a unified framework for all fantasy soccer and related sports worldwide, hereby promulgates this global sporting code, the Code. Its purpose is to ensure fairness, integrity, and consistent governance across all recognized leagues, competitions, and associated disciplines under GFAF's jurisdiction. Chapter I, General PROVSONS. Article 1, Purpose and Scope. 1.1. This code governs the conduct, behavior, and operations of all GFAF-sanctioned leagues, draft events, tournaments, and associated competitions. Leagues. 1.2. It applies to every GFAF member league, its commissioner, all managers, team owners, participants, deputy commissioners, officials, and recognized subfederations. 1.3. The objectives of the code are to promote integrity, sportsmanship, and fair play, to set enforcement procedures, including disciplinary actions, and to establish uniform standards for competitions, venues, and governance. Article 2, Definitions. For the purposes of this code, the following terms shall have the meanings indicated. 2.1. GFAF, Global Fantasy Soccer Federation, the worldwide governing body for fantasy soccer sports. 2.2. GFAF, Global Fantasy Soccer Federation, Legacy Reference. All previous documents referring to GFAF are superseded by GFAF nomenclature. 2.3. League. Any competition, draft, or tournament formally recognized and sanctioned by GFAF. 2.4. Commissioner. The individual appointed by GFAF to administer a specific league, responsible for enforcing the code at the league level. 2.5. Deputy Commissioner of Sport. An elected official, per Article 8, who assists the commissioner in sports-related matters, e.g., side tournaments, match analysis. 2.6. Deputy Commissioner of Governance. An elected official who assists the commissioner in administrative, regulatory, and structural matters. 2.7. TMO/VAR. Technical match official/virtual soccer review system used to adjudicate disputes, review potential rule infractions, or clarify contested proceedings. 2.8. Manager. A team owner or participant in a fantasy league, responsible for roster management and compliance. 2.9. Draft. The event in which managers draft players for their teams, governed by rules set forth in this code and any league-specific regulations. 2.1. Game week. The smallest competitive unit in a league season, e.g., a week of matchups. 2.11. Venue. Any location, physical or virtual, designated for GFAF-sanctioned events, including drafts, matches, or governance meetings. Chapter II, Governance and Organizational Structure. Article 3, GFAF Authority and Structure. 3.1. GFAF is governed by a president, supported by a deputy president, the GFAF Sporting Council, and the GFAF Disciplinary Tribunal. The Sporting Council is composed of the deputy president, all league commissioners, and such advisors or appointed officials as may be recognized under this code. 3.2. Each recognized region or subfederation, e.g., LEMFA, Collie Weston, a soccer federation, must operate under an GFAF-appointed president, who reports to the GFAF president and Sporting Council. 3.3. Every league is overseen by a commissioner, who is accountable to GFAF. Commissioners are the highest GFAF authority within their respective league. 3.4. Key GFAF departments and bodies include 3.4. 1 Disciplinary Tribunal DT. Enforces this code, adjudicates appeals, and issues sanctions. 3.4.2 Sporting Council SC. Advises on rule changes, competition formats, and strategic direction. 3.4.3 Technical Match Office TMO/VAR Unit. Reviews disputes under Article 9, issues binding technical rulings. 344 Draft Authority, DA, establishes and enforces draft protocols, including venue grading, per Appendix I. 345 Office of Disciplinary Oversight, ODO, oversees all investigations, evidence collection, and record keeping. Article 4, GFAF Council of the Leagues. 4.1. The GFAF Council of the Leagues, ICL, is composed of every league commissioner and the GFAF president, who chair meetings. 4.2. ICL's responsibilities include 4.2.1 Approving amendments to this code, per Article 13. 4.2.2 Sanctioning new leagues or recognizing independent federations, e.g., Collie Weston, a soccer federation for snooker. 4.2.3 Setting the annual calendar of major events, drafts, championships. 4.2.4 Ratifying appointment or removal of league presidents and commissioners. Article 5 GFAF President and Deputies. 5.1 The GFAF President is elected by the ICL and holds office for an indefinite duration, until resignation or removal. 5.2 Each recognized subfederation, including LEMFA, shall have its own president, elected by that subfederation's members, with terms defined by subfederation bylaws but subject to GFAF approval. 5.3 League commissioners report to their regional president, if applicable, and ultimately to the GFAF president. 5.4 In the event of a vacancy in the GFAF president's office, the GFAF deputy president, if appointed, shall assume interim duties until a special election is held. 5.5 Deputy President. 5.5.1 The GFAF deputy president shall serve as the principal deputy to the GFAF president and shall assist in the execution of executive duties across the federation. 5.5.2 The deputy president shall represent the GFAF president in their absence and may be delegated specific powers or responsibilities at the discretion of the president. 5.5.3 The deputy president shall also serve as a member of the GFAF Sporting Council, with full rights and responsibilities as provided in Article 3. 5.5.4 The deputy president shall act as liaison between the GFAF president and the presidents of the regional subfederations, ensuring coordination and communication throughout the federation. 5.5.5 The deputy president shall be a full member of the International Council of the Leagues, ICL, and shall hold voting rights equal to those of league commissioners. 5.5.6 The deputy president shall be elected by the International Council of the Leagues for a renewable term of 2 years. 5.5.7 In the event of a vacancy in the office of the GFAF president, the deputy president shall assume interim presidential duties until a special election is held in accordance with this code. Chapter III, Sporting Integrity and Conduct. Article 6, Code of Conduct. 6.1 All participants, managers, commissioners, deputies, and officials must act with integrity, respect, and fairness at all times. 6.2 No form of collusion, match-fixing, or unethical manipulation of league outcomes is permitted. 6.3 Harassment, abuse, or discrimination of any kind, verbal, physical, or digital, is strictly prohibited. 6.4 Compliance with all applicable GFAF and league regulations is mandatory. Violations invite disciplinary action, per Articles 7-8. 6.5 Alcohol, smoking, and intoxicating substances. The consumption of alcohol, smoking, vaping, or other intoxicating or controlled substances during official GFAF events is prohibited unless expressly authorized by the GFAF Council of the Leagues, ICL. 6.6 Gambling and betting. Participants, officials, and managers are prohibited from engaging in any form of gambling or betting during GFAF-sanctioned activities or in relation to GFAF competitions. 6.7 Illegal drugs. The possession or use of illegal drugs during any GFAF activity or event is strictly prohibited. 6.8 Conduct at events. Participants must behave in a professional and respectful manner at all GFAF events. Disruptive behavior that interferes with the orderly conduct of an event may result in disciplinary action. 6.9 Protection of venues and facilities. Participants must respect venues and equipment used for GFAF events. Damage to property may result in sanctions and financial liability. 6.1 Venue rules. Participants must comply with all venue rules, safety requirements, and instructions issued by event organizers. 6.11 Confidentiality and recordings. Unauthorized recording, broadcasting, or distribution of private GFAF meetings or governance proceedings is prohibited. Article 7. Violations and offenses. 7.1 Offenses are classified into 3 categories: minor, major, and severe, and punished accordingly. 7.1 minor offenses, e.g., missed draft submissions, late fee payments, non-threatening abusive language. 7.12 Major offenses, e.g., repeated deadline breaches, collusion for trades, intentional rule violations, non-threatening verbal abuse. 7.13 Severe offenses, e.g., match fixing, threats or violence, hacking league systems, physical assault, repeated harassment. Article 8. Penalties and disciplinary actions. 8.1 The Disciplinary Tribunal, DT, presides over all alleged offenses. 8.2 Minor offenses. 8.2 First offense, written warning. 8.2 Subsequent offenses. Suspension from specific league privileges, e.g., discussion forums, draft announcements, for up to 1 game week. 8.3 Major offenses. 8.3 First offense. Formal reprimand, recorded on official league records. 8.3 Repeat. Suspension from league events or communications for up to 2 game weeks. Potential restrictions on trades or draft participation and/or point deduction. 8.4 Severe offenses. 8.4 Immediate suspension, for no less than 4 game weeks. 8.4 Permanent expulsion from GFAF-sanctioned activities, if warranted. 8.4 A suspended manager's team remains active under automatic settings in a league where suspensions cannot be given. A permanently expelled manager's team may be reassigned or dissolved at DT's discretion. Article 9. Procedures for enforcement. 9.1 Reporting violations. 9.1 Any person may file a complaint with supporting evidence, e.g., screenshots, logs, to the league commissioner or directly to ODO. 9.12 Complaints must be in writing and specify the alleged offense category. 9.2 Investigation. 9.2 Commissioner and ODO conduct a preliminary inquiry within 7 days of complaint receipt. 9.2 If credible evidence exists, ODO refers the matter to DT for a formal hearing. 9.3 Hearing and decision. 9.3 DT schedules a hearing within 3 days of referral. The accused manager may defend themselves in person or via remote conference. 9.3 DT issues a written decision, verdict and sanction, within 3 days of the hearing's conclusion. 9.3 If no hearing is required, e.g., minor infractions, DT may adjudicate based solely on evidence gathered. DT's decision is then communicated in writing. Article 10. Appeals process. 10.1 Any manager or official sanctioned under this code may appeal. 10.2 Appeals must be filed with ODO within 48 hours of receiving the DT's decision. 10.3 Appeal review. 10.3 ODO convenes an independent appeal panel, IAP, drawn from retired commissioners, former presidents, or other individuals with prior involvement in the relevant rules or activities, including family members where appropriate, none of whom participated in the original hearing. 10.3.2 IAP must issue a final ruling within 5 days of receiving the appeal. 10.4 The IAP's decision is final and binding. No further appeals are permitted within the GFAF framework. Chapter IV, League Operations and Event PROTOCOLS. Article 11, Commissioner Powers and Obligations. 11.1, Each commissioner shall. 11.1. 1. Ensure that all managers comply with this code and any league-specific regulations. 11.1.2. Schedule and oversee all matchups, draft events, and side tournaments. 11.1.3. Appoint, in coordination with GFAF, Deputy Commissioners of Sport and Governance, per Article 12. 11.1.4. Apply sanctions recommended by DT, and, if necessary, request TMO VAR intervention for disputes. 11.2. Commissioners must submit monthly operational reports to the GFAF Sporting Council, including any disciplinary matters, draft outcomes, and statistical summaries. Article 12. Deputy Commissioner Roles and Election. 12.1. Deputy Commissioner of Governance. 12.1. 1. Elected by all active managers, excluding the Commissioner, through a confidential GFAF-approved ballot. Term, 1 league season, 12 months, renewable once per league policy. 12.1.3. Responsibilities. Oversight of administrative rules, policy drafting, dispute mediation prior to DT referral, and long-term strategic planning. 12.2. Deputy Commissioner of Sport. 12.2.1. Elected in the same manner as governance, with identical eligibility requirements. See Article 14. 12.2.2. Term, 1 league season, renewable. 12.2.3. Responsibilities. Organizing side tournaments, e.g., mini-leagues, head-to-head challenges, curating weekly performance highlights, developing awards, e.g., Manager of the Month, and curating strategic insights. 12.3. Election procedures. 12.3.1. Nominations open at least 30 days prior to the annual draft. 12.3.2. Candidates must be active managers with at least 1 full season of participation and no outstanding disciplinary sanctions. 12.3.3. Ballots are distributed via the GFAF-sanctioned voting platform. Each manager receives 1 vote per position. 12.3.4. Winners are those obtaining the highest vote totals. Tiebreakers are resolved by runoff between tied candidates. 12.4. In the event of a vacancy mid-season, the Commissioner may appoint an interim deputy, subject to confirmation by a majority vote of managers within 14 days. Article 13. Draft Protocols and Venue Standards. 13.1. All GFAF-sanctioned drafts, annual Collie Weston a Soccer FPL draft, etc., must comply with the draft venue grading system set forth in Appendix I. 13.2. Grade 1. Grand Draft Venue. 13.2. 1 Rare, ceremonious locations, e.g., National Convention Center, University Pavilion. 13.2.2. Indoors-outdoors adaptable, strong broadband, power infrastructure, suitable for side events. 13.3. Grade 2. Standard draft venue. 13.3.1. Reliable indoor or outdoor venue with stable internet data access. Sufficient table space for all participants. 13.4. Grade 3. Rural draft venue. 13.4.1. Minimal setup. Outdoor only. Reliable mobile data preferred. Seating recommended. 13.5. Grade 4. Emergency draft venue. 13.5.1. Commissioner may approve last-minute venues during extreme circumstances, e.g., weather, technical failure. Must support at least 1 communication channel, Zello, WhatsApp, or Google Chat. 13.6. Commissioner intervention. 13.6.1. If a draft's fairness or execution is compromised, e.g., internet blackout, hazardous weather, the Commissioner may declare an intervention phase, relocate the draft, or reschedule. Managers must be notified immediately via all official channels. Article 14. Match Oversight, TMO/VAR. 14.1. GFAF authorizes each league to implement a technical match official, TMO, or virtual soccer review, VAR, for disputes involving 14.1.1 draft timing infractions, e.g. late pick. 14.1.2 waiver trade deadline ambiguities. 14.1.3 suspected foul play, e.g. collusion, unauthorized substitutions. 14.2 TMO request. 14.2.1 any manager or deputy commissioner may file a formal TMO request within 24 hours of the incident. 14.2.2 a TMO panel, chaired by the director of TMO VAR, reviews evidence, screenshots, logs, communications, and issues a binding ruling within 72 hours. 14.3 appeal of TMO ruling. 14.3.1 affected parties may appeal to DT within 48 hours of TMO decision. Standard appeal process, Article 10, applies. Chapter V, recognition of independent SPORTS federations. Article 15, affiliated subfederations. 15.1 to promote specialized governance, GFAF may recognize independent fantasy sport federations operating under GFAF's integrity standards. 15.2 recognized subfederations include 15.2.1 Collyweston Soccer, Collyweston Association. CA governs and organizes sport-related events and the annual Collyweston Soccer FPL draft, championed by its own commissioner and deputy commissioners. 15.2.2 LEMFA, formerly Lincoln M Fantasy Soccer, a regional body under GFAF, led by its president. LEMFA manages local soccer drafts and minor cup competitions. 15.2.3 other sport divisions may be formed, e.g., for Snooker Fantasy, CBAFA for Cumbria Fantasy Soccer, pending GFAF recognition. 15.3 affiliation requirements. 15.3.1 subfederations must adopt GFAF's International Sporting Code. 15.3.2 subfederations may establish supplementary rules, provided they do not conflict with this code. Chapter VI, records, data, and statistical integrity. Article 16, official records and audits. 16.1 all leagues and recognized subfederations must maintain comprehensive records of 16.1.1 match results, game scores or roster outcomes. 16.1.2 draft picks and trade transactions. 16.1.3 disciplinary actions, warnings and sanctions. 16.1.4 manager participation and membership status. 16.2 GFAF's Office of Disciplinary Oversight, ODO, may audit any league's records at any time for compliance. 16.3 Statistical Integrity Department, SID. 16.3.1 high-tier or flagship leagues may establish an SID under GFAF guidance to verify data accuracy, detect anomalies, and publish quarterly integrity reports. 16.3.2 SID findings may prompt TMO VAR investigations if suspected foul play is detected. Chapter VII, amendments and revision procedures. Article 17, amendments to the Code. 17.1 any amendment to this code must be proposed in writing to the GFAF president by a league commissioner, deputy commissioner, or recognized subfederation president. 17.2 proposed amendments are reviewed by the GFAF Sporting Council, which may recommend adjustments. 17.3 a two-thirds majority vote of the GFAF Council of the Leagues, ICL, is required to adopt an amendment. 17.4 official notice of any amendment must be communicated to all leagues and subfederations no later than 30 days before its effective date. 17.5 emergency amendments, e.g., to address unforeseen integrity breaches, may be adopted by unanimous vote of the ICL and take effect immediately, subject to ratification at the next scheduled ICL meeting. Appendices. Appendix I, Draft Venue Grading Criteria. Grade 1, Grand Draft Venue Prestige Capacity Tech Requirements. Grade 2, Standard draft venue, reliable infrastructure, capacity for managers. Grade 3. Rural draft venue, minimal setup, limited connectivity. Grade 4. Emergency draft venue, last resort locations, must support at least one communication method. See Article 13 for details on commissioner intervention and emergency protocols. Appendix II, disciplinary violation templates. Standardized forms for reporting minor, major, and severe offenses. Checklists for evidence submission, screenshots, logs, witness statements. Appendix III, official reporting format. Template for incident reports, filed with ODO. Required fields, date, time, league, manager names, description of incident, evidence list. Appendix IV, league membership application form. Standard application for new leagues or subfederations to request GFAF recognition. Sections, governance structure, bylaws excerpt, proof of member base, sample competition format. Appendix V, draft schedule and notification timeline. Standard timeline for GFAF sanctioned drafts, e.g., announcement 60 days prior, nominations 45 days prior, final roster lock 7 days prior. Notification template for managers regarding draft changes or venue upgrades, downgrades. Conclusion. This international sporting code codifies the unified principles, structures, and procedures by which fantasy soccer and all affiliated fantasy sports shall be governed worldwide. All GFAF member leagues, subfederations, commissioners, deputy commissioners, managers, and officials are bound by this code. Its provisions ensure that the spirit of competition, integrity, and fair play thrives in every fantasy draft, match, and tournament under GFAF's jurisdiction. End of document.